Welcome to the Senior Health video. This video will talk about 6 silent symptoms of clogged arteries doctors say never ignore. Have you ever felt a strange tightness in your chest or a sudden wave of exhaustion and told yourself it was nothing, just aging or stress? Many people do the same thing every single day, brushing off small changes in their bodies because life is busy and it feels easier to ignore them. Yet as you move through these moments, something far more serious could be unfolding beneath the surface. Something that never announces itself with dramatic warning signs, but slowly builds until it becomes impossible to ignore. When you start to recognize these subtle shifts, you begin to understand that your body has been speaking to you long before any real emergency happens. That is why you need to hear what comes next, because every year in the United States, millions of people face heart and circulation problems that could have been prevented if they had known what to look for. These early signals rarely show up like the movie-style heart attack that everyone imagines. Instead, they appear quietly, hiding behind everyday symptoms that seem harmless until one day they are not. The danger is not only in the symptom, but in how easy it is to dismiss it, and that is exactly what puts so many people at risk without realizing it. As you listen, you will discover that your body has a language of its own. It sends messages through your legs, your skin, your breathing, even your memory long before a major event occurs. You will learn how to understand each of these warning signs clearly, and once you do, you will never look at these symptoms the same way again. What you are about to hear is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to empower you, because when you know what is happening inside your body, you can take control before the situation becomes life-threatening. So stay with this message from start to finish, because the truth that could protect your heart and your future begins right here. Number 1, changes in your skin, hair, and nails. When you first hear that your legs can reveal the earliest clues about your circulation, it might sound surprising. Yet once you look closer, you begin to realize that your skin is one of the first places your arteries whisper that something is wrong. This is not about vanity or appearance. It is about the health of the vessels that carry life to every inch of your body. When those vessels begin to narrow, the surface of your legs becomes a quiet warning sign that you cannot afford to ignore. As you start to recognize these patterns, the entire story of your health becomes clearer, and the small details you once dismissed suddenly carry enormous meaning. One of the most telling changes is unexpected hair loss on your legs. Hair follicles need oxygen-rich blood to grow. When circulation weakens, your body begins to shut down functions that are not essential for survival. You might look at your shins and notice smooth patches where hair used to grow, and it happens not because of age, but because blood is no longer reaching those areas the way it should. This early shift is often overlooked, yet it is one of the strongest indicators that your arteries are struggling to deliver what your cells need. Many people brush it off, but you should not. This is your body signaling that deeper issues may be forming beneath the surface. But only noticing hair loss is not enough, because there is another sign that reveals even more. Another major clue is shiny, thin, or glossy skin. When blood flow drops, your skin loses nourishment and begins to change texture. It may appear stretched, fragile, or even slightly reddish or purplish when you stand. These changes happen slowly, so you may not notice them until you compare your legs to how they looked months ago. Scientists call this a microvascular starvation effect, meaning your skin cells are not receiving what they need to stay strong. This is why even minor scratches may heal more slowly. But even this warning is not the full picture, because the next change can be even easier to identify. A third critical clue is thick, brittle toenails. Your nails grow from cells that rely on a steady stream of nutrients. When arteries narrow, that supply becomes inconsistent. Nails may grow dull, ridged, or unusually hard to trim. Many people mistake this for fungal infection, yet in countless cases it is actually a circulation problem. When you understand this connection, you begin to see how your legs tell the truth long before pain appears. But knowing these warning signs still is not enough, because there is another cue your body gives that reveals even more about your hidden circulation struggles. Number 2, calf pain that comes and goes. When you understand how your skin, hair, and nails reflect what is happening inside your arteries, the next signal becomes even clearer. Your legs do not only speak through appearance, they speak through movement. That is why calf pain that appears when you walk and fades when you stop is one of the most important circulation warnings your body can ever send you. It is not just soreness, it is not just age. It is your muscles begging for oxygen and sending you a message that becomes louder every day you ignore it. Many people notice this pain, but explain it away because it goes away so quickly. Yet that disappearing act is exactly what makes it so dangerous. When you take your first steps, everything feels normal. But after a short distance, you begin to feel a sharp ache or burning sensation deep in your calf. You stop for a moment, give your legs a little rest, and suddenly the pain melts away. You start walking again and the cycle repeats. This pattern is called intermittent claudication, and it happens because your arteries cannot deliver blood fast enough to match your muscle demand. Think of your calf as a small engine that needs fuel to run. When the fuel line is clogged, the engine sputters. That is exactly what your legs are doing. They are warning you that something is blocking the flow, but simply recognizing this pattern is still not enough because your body is also giving you another clue that many people never check. Doctors use a simple test to confirm whether your calf pain is caused by poor circulation. It is called the ankle brachial index, and it compares the blood pressure in your ankle to the blood pressure in your arm. If the number in your ankle is much lower, it shows that blood flow to your legs is being restricted. This test takes just a few minutes, yet it can reveal a problem that has been building silently for years. Many Americans discover this only after their pain becomes severe. You should not wait for that moment. When you hear stories of people who ignored this sign and later learned they had serious artery disease, the message becomes impossible to ignore. But even this powerful test is not the only warning your legs can give, because your body uses another signal that often appears more suddenly and more dramatically. But only knowing this still is not enough, because there is another factor even more dangerous waiting in the next sign. Number 3, sudden swelling and pain in one leg. As you move from understanding calf pain to recognizing deeper circulation issues, the next warning sign becomes even more urgent. Sudden swelling and pain in one leg is not just another discomfort you can walk off. It is one of the clearest signals that your body may be facing a dangerous blockage. When one leg becomes noticeably larger, warmer, redder, or more tender than the other, you are seeing a message that your circulation is under serious stress. This type of swelling does not appear by accident. It appears because something is stopping blood from moving the way it should. And when this happens on only one side, it raises the stakes dramatically. What makes this sign so concerning is that it often occurs quickly. You might wake up and notice your left calf looks puffier. You press a finger into the skin, and the indentation stays longer than usual. You feel a deep ache or a heavy tightness that does not match the other leg. This is the classic pattern of deep vein thrombosis, a condition where a clot forms inside a vein and disrupts the flow of blood. Unlike muscle soreness or fatigue, this swelling does not improve with stretching or heat. Instead, it tends to worsen as the day goes on. The danger lies in how easy it is to misinterpret. Many people tell themselves they slept in a strange position or stood too long, yet the truth is far more serious. But simply noticing the swelling is just the beginning, because the real risk comes from where the clot may travel next. Medical experts warn that the biggest threat of DVT is not the leg pain itself. It is what can happen if the clot breaks loose. When this occurs, it can travel to your lungs and cause a pulmonary embolism, a life-threatening emergency that demands immediate care. That is why one-sided swelling should never be ignored. A study published in the United States found that DVT is far more common during long periods of sitting hormonal changes or after surgery, and many people are unaware they are at risk until symptoms appear. The solution begins with awareness. If you ever notice this type of swelling, contact a doctor or go to the emergency room right away. Quick evaluation can prevent a tragedy and protect your long-term health. But even with this powerful warning in mind, your body uses another signal that is just as serious and often far more confusing. But knowing this alone is still not enough, because there is another factor even more dangerous waiting for you in the next sign. Number 4, chest discomfort and its hidden imitators. Chest discomfort is one of the most misunderstood warning signs your body gives you. The moment you feel pressure in your chest, you might question whether it is stress indigestion or simply a long day catching up with you. Yet when your circulation begins to struggle, Your chest becomes a frontline messenger, sending signals that something inside your arteries is tightening and demanding attention. This is why paying close attention to even mild discomfort can make the difference between early intervention and a sudden emergency. As you move from swelling and leg pain to the center of your chest, the story of your circulation becomes even clearer, helping you understand how every part of your body is connected. Many people imagine heart-related pain as a dramatic moment, but the truth is far more subtle. Classic chest discomfort often feels like pressure, heaviness, or tightness that appears when you exert yourself and fades when you rest. It can feel like someone is gently pressing a fist against your chest. This discomfort happens because your heart muscle is not receiving enough oxygen-rich blood. The arteries that feed your heart become narrowed and struggle to meet the demand. When you slow down, the pressure disappears, tricking you into believing nothing is wrong. Yet this temporary relief is exactly what makes the situation more dangerous, because it hides the true problem behind a moment of comfort. But even understanding this pattern is not enough, because chest symptoms can appear very differently depending on who you are. For many women, chest discomfort does not look like pressure at all. Instead, it shows up as sudden exhaustion, shortness of breath, nausea, dizziness, or pain in the back, neck, jaw, or stomach. These symptoms are often dismissed as stress or hormonal changes, even though they may be early warnings of circulation problems. A growing number of studies in the United States reveal that women experience heart issues differently from men, and this difference is one reason many women arrive at the hospital much later than they should. When you understand these variations, you give yourself the power to recognize what others might overlook. But simply knowing how chest symptoms appear in men and women is still not enough, because there is scientific evidence that adds another layer to this warning. Researchers have found that chest discomfort is often linked to inflammation inside the arteries. This inflammation triggers a chain reaction that restricts blood flow and creates more pressure on the heart. The most effective way to support your arteries is through simple habits like eating garlic for vessel relaxation, choosing leafy greens for artery protection, and keeping stress under control. Even small daily changes can strengthen the heart and improve circulation. But understanding chest discomfort is only part of the story, because there is another warning that appears not in your chest, but in your mind. And this next sign is even more alarming. Number 5, memory problems and brain fog. As you move from the warnings in your chest to the signals your mind sends, the next symptom reveals just how deeply circulation affects every part of your life. Many people assume that forgetfulness or trouble focusing is simply a normal part of getting older. Yet when your arteries begin to narrow, your brain becomes one of the first organs to feel the impact, because it depends on a constant flow of oxygen-rich blood. When that flow weakens, your mind reacts immediately. This is why even mild confusion or moments of mental slowdown can be powerful signs that something deeper is happening inside your circulation. The first red flag often appears in simple ways. You might walk into a room and forget why you went there. You may find yourself rereading the same line again and again because your focus slips. You might feel mentally slower or notice that decisions take longer than they used to. This feeling is known as brain fog, and it develops when your brain does not receive enough oxygen to operate at full strength. Scientists in the United States describe this as a form of vascular cognitive impairment, meaning the wiring of your brain is intact, but the blood supply that feeds it is struggling. When this happens repeatedly, your mind begins to send you tiny alerts that something is off. But recognizing these moments is only the beginning, because the pattern becomes stronger as circulation continues to decline. Some people start to notice emotional changes as well. Irritability grows, motivation fades, concentration weakens. You might feel like your thoughts are heavier, slower, or harder to access. This is not because your memory is failing. It is because the arteries that carry blood to your brain are becoming narrower, forcing your brain to work with less energy than it needs. Many people fear that these symptoms mean early Alzheimer's. Yet there is an important difference. Alzheimer's affects the brain's structure, while vascular issues affect its blood supply. The hopeful part is that vascular problems can be slowed, improved, and even prevented when caught early. Understanding this difference gives you the power to take action before the problem becomes severe. But even knowing this scientific explanation is not enough because your brain also responds to lifestyle habits in ways you might not expect. Simple changes can strengthen your brain's blood flow. Gentle movement like walking increases circulation. Foods rich in antioxidants, such as blueberries and leafy greens, support your arteries. Staying hydrated keeps blood moving smoothly. Even deep breathing exercises lower stress, which protects your vessels from inflammation. These small habits can create major improvements when practiced consistently. Yet to protect your brain fully, you must understand every sign your circulation gives you. But knowing this alone is still not enough because there is another warning that appears first in your most sensitive blood vessels, and this next sign is even more dangerous. Number 6, erectile dysfunction and nighttime leg cramps. As you move from the signals in your mind to the most sensitive warning your circulation can give, the next symptom becomes impossible to overlook. Many people believe that sexual health changes or nighttime cramps are isolated problems. Yet when your arteries begin to narrow, these signs often appear long before any major heart event, making them some of the earliest and most powerful clues that your blood flow is weakening. This is why paying attention to these shifts can protect not only your heart, but your long-term quality of life. For men, one of the strongest early warning signs is erectile dysfunction. Many assume this issue comes from stress, age, or emotional strain, but in reality, an erection depends entirely on strong and rapid blood flow. The arteries in this area are extremely small, much narrower than the ones that feed your heart or brain. When plaque starts to build, these tiny vessels are the first to become clogged. That means ED often appears 3 to 5 years before a heart attack, giving men a crucial window of time to take action. Scientists across the United States confirm that ED is strongly connected to early artery disease even when other symptoms appear mild. But the hopeful part is that this sign gives you time to respond. Improving circulation through movement, lowering inflammation, with foods like garlic and reducing stress can help restore healthy blood flow. Yet even this early clue tells only half the story because women experience a different warning that is often overlooked. But only noticing ED is not enough because there is another danger many people miss entirely. For women, the equivalent red flag shows up as painful nighttime leg or foot cramps. These are not the typical cramps that happen after exercise. These cramps strike suddenly, often at night, and the pain can be so intense that it forces you out of bed. This happens because the arteries in the legs become so narrow that even resting muscles cannot get enough oxygen. The muscle begins to spasm, sending a sharp and urgent message that circulation is failing. Many women blame dehydration or low magnesium, not realizing the real issue may be poor blood flow. Studies in American heart clinics show that women with repeated nighttime cramps often have early artery narrowing, even when cholesterol levels look normal. Small lifestyle shifts can make a powerful difference. Warming the legs before bed, stretching the calves, staying hydrated, adding leafy greens for arterial support, and discussing circulation tests with a doctor are all steps that can improve blood flow and reduce cramping. Yet even with these solutions, there is a deeper reason this sign matters so much for your health. Understanding these sensitive warnings gives you the chance to act before a silent heart problem becomes a life-threatening emergency. But knowing this still is not enough because there is another factor even more dangerous waiting for you in the next part of your circulation journey. Your body has been speaking to you through every sign you have just learned, and now you understand how each warning connects to your heart, your circulation, and your long-term health. These 6 symptoms may appear quietly, but they are powerful messages that something inside you needs attention. The good news is that knowing them gives you control. You are no longer guessing or hoping things will get better on their own. You now have the knowledge to protect yourself before a sudden emergency ever appears. When you recognize changes in your legs, your chest, your mind, or your energy, you give yourself a chance to act early. Simple habits can create real transformation. Move your body every day to strengthen your circulation. Choose foods that support healthy arteries such as garlic, leafy greens, berries, and heart-friendly fats. Drink enough water to keep your blood flowing smoothly. Manage stress with slow breathing or gentle stretching. These small steps are safe for most older adults and can add years of comfort, clarity, and strength to your life. You deserve to feel confident in your body again, and you deserve to know that it is never too late to make a change. Remember that prevention is not complicated. It begins with awareness and continues with small daily choices. You do not have to overhaul your entire life. You only need to start with one action today. As you take these steps, you protect your heart, your brain, your legs, and your independence. That is the real victory. If you found value in this guide, save this video so you can return to these signs whenever you need them. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss new medical insights and food-based strategies that support healthy aging. And in our next video, you will learn how to spot the earliest signs of a heart attack before it happens. Stay informed, stay proactive, and take good care of yourself.